Hey everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you're staying safe during this pandemic, during all the protests, which sad to have to say that. Yeah, I hope you guys are all doing well. Before this channel can continue to resume its normalcy and all the uploads and stuff, which I know I've been gone for a minute, but I'm trying to work something out there. But I needed to talk about this, not just because I felt strongly about it, but I think it's something that everyone should feel strongly about. So yeah, something I wanted to talk about. And in the fashion of how I tell my tales in this video, I'm gonna actually tell you a short story. Now this story doesn't have anything to do with police brutality or violence, so don't feel like you need to walk into this fearful that something happened to me. Thankfully, nothing has happened to me or any of my family members that I can remember. But this is a story about the way that people react. So, I work at a store, a grocery store to be more specific. And when I was working there, I believe it was over the summer. No. It was, no. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It was last summer. I came into work and people were rushing around panicking as if something was going on. So I asked my manager at the time, I'm like, hey, what's going on? Why are people like being frantic right now? And she told me that one of my coworkers had driven into work and there was a kitten stuck near her engine block. And I believe it was more than one kitten. There might have been like two or three. Now, she didn't know this, so she came into work, business as usual, whatever. But people who were coming into the store heard these kittens in her car and had come into the store, told us about it, and then proceeded to try to contact our local authorities and the fire department so that they could take apart this car to get these kittens out of the car. Now, I, just showing up to work, see that something is obviously going on. Their fire truck was already there by the time that I had gotten there, so I parked on the far side of the road to try to not obstruct their way to this car, which they seem to be going towards. And I'm thinking, like, obviously this is not a bomb, because if this was a bomb, people would be out of here. Nobody would be here. But the fact that people are distancing themselves away from this car is a little weird. So I come in, she tells me, she catches me up on all this. And my first reaction to her explaining what's going on is, wow, like this is a lot to go through to get a kitten out of a car. Now, I'm not saying it should have been left in the car. I'm just like, wow, this is a lot. I didn't expect that this whole like scene that I'm seeing play out is because a kitten was stuck in a car. I thought somebody was injured, like actual person, and something was going on, but it was just a kitten that was stuck in a car. Now, unfortunately, I think all but one kitten had died, and my manager went on to explain, like, oh, since the kitten's been so far away from its mom, like now the kitten will be able to go back because the mom is going to see it as like a different kid or whatever and not going to accept it into its family or whatever. I don't know how true that is, but that sounds pretty brutal. So cats, what the heck is going on there? But she was saying like she was going to take the kitten in, take care of it, do all this stuff. And I can't believe I forgot the craziest part about this story is the local authorities, I believe it was the sheriff's department was contacted. Nobody showed up from the sheriff's department. And so multiple people went onto Facebook and were saying like, hey, like this department should be ashamed of itself. You didn't show up when this kid was stuck in this car. Like, shame on you. They did this over a cat in a car. So what had me thinking about this was this girl posted a very terribly phrased TikTok for better, or for lack of better terms. where she was talking about the Black Lives Matter movement and protecting animals. And I'm like, if anybody had treated George Floyd with even an ounce of the urgency that these people at the store did, he would probably still be alive. Or at least something would have been done to the people, the officers that murdered him and assisted in murdering him by not doing anything. So I just wanted to share that with you guys so you can see, people care, but they don't apply that same empathy to people of the same race, because we're all part of the human race. Like, if you can apply that to animals, then you can definitely apply that to your neighbor, someone walking down the street, someone running in your neighborhood, someone who's just hustling. Now, of course, I also have to address this so I leave as little stones to be unturned as possible. I do not condone the rioting. I think that, for one thing, thinking about this from a strategic standpoint, as unfortunate as I have to do that, but that's just the way that the media works now, that can be weaponized and has been weaponized against our cause. And for another thing, I am too sympathetic to the fact that people's lives are being destroyed, whether it's Black or whoever. That's just doesn't sit right with me. But I also understand why, at least the people who are actually rioting because they were mad, I can understand why that they were doing that. And I'm probably going to butcher this, so I'm going to link Trevor Noah's video in the description. But the way that he explained it made a lot of sense to me. And I think it will make a lot of sense to people who keep their minds open about it. But basically what he said was, Black people and just people of color in general, but especially Black people in basically most recent times of America, have had to watch others loot their community, loot their culture, and some areas, and if you live in a bad neighborhood, you watch it happen daily, where police officers just do not respect you, and will take advantage of you because they know they can do it. So when people go out and loot all these businesses, which for the most case, from what I've seen, people are saying they're trying to loot like all these big businesses. That's their way of taking things back, like peaceful. They feel that peaceful protesting hasn't worked, which I can't really say that it has, because we haven't really seen any change, because we have continually had to protest against these things. But that's their way of kind of speaking out against it, like they felt the only way to get people to listen was to mess with somebody's money, which in America, that is very effective. That being said, I still think that the peaceful protesting that is being done is going to ultimately further our cause. But unfortunately, even now, like at the time of me posting this video, I believe today is the 5th of June, peaceful protesters that are not threatening the police in any way, shape, or form, are being attacked and not able to use their First Amendment right. If you want to talk about rights, they're not being able to use the First Amendment right. Some of the press is not being able to do their job, which is also a violation of the First Amendment. So it is a troubling time for this country, and that's why I was kind of, not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say depressed, but definitely not feeling happy about where we were. It's something that but until something like this happens and you see all the violence and everything just kind of unfold all at once, it doesn't really impact me as heavily. Now, there has been a lot of good to come of this. A lot of people have been able to come together and, stand against this issue of all different types of ethnicities and cultures, which I'm so thankful for, because we definitely need as much support as we can get from all of you. And yeah, this is not just an issue for us, it's an issue for everybody. And that in all over the world, we have seen protests, which has been baffling to me, just the amount of support that we've been getting. And I'm also very grateful for that. The next step in supporting this cause would be, as people have been saying, to donate to these different funds to help people who have been wrongfully jailed get bail, and to donate to, I believe George Floyd's family has been able to raise enough funds to conduct his funeral and take care of their family and such. And I think there have also been other people who have willingly just said, I will pay for everything flat out. But there are still like so many different funds, so many different bail funds, and just different things that need to be donated to. So I will put that in the description as well. And if you can't donate, there's also petitions. As I was saying, one of the most important freedoms that we have, especially right now, is to go out and vote. Vote. Do your research before you go vote. Make sure you know who you're voting for, what they're standing for, what they're promising. And then if you think that person is going to be able to accomplish those goals, vote them in. Vote them into office. But we also have to make sure that they are held accountable for accomplishing those goals. And if they don't accomplish all they say they're going to accomplish, and you don't feel that their performance was satisfactory, vote in somebody who you think can do the job. That is the most important thing that we can do right now, other than protest and share our voice. So I'm sure you can probably hear my dad crunching on chips right now. I apologize. But yeah, I just wanted to get on here and share this with all of you on both my channels, since I'll probably just be uploading this on both. Just to kind of give you some perspective. Yeah, if you're going out there protesting, be safe, make sure you know your rights. Yeah, I can't say anything more than that, And if you don't feel comfortable really discussing this on social media, that's fine. You don't have to like push yourself into doing something uncomfortable. Although this is something worth getting over, I guess, your uncomfortability to share. But even if you feel like, hey, like I don't want to offend anybody by posting about something that is not directly related to my skin color or my culture or whatever, you can sign the petitions and donate, but you can also just talk to your friends, talk to your Black friends, people of color, and make sure they're okay, because they definitely will appreciate it. That at the very least is something that you can do, because they are your friend, right? I've had multiple friends reach out to me, and I didn't know how much that would mean to me until I actually saw that support coming from them, and I really appreciated that. So for those who reached out to me, I want to say thank you. I really appreciate that. I love you guys, and yeah, just keep being good people. We need more good people like you. Well, I said my piece. Hopefully you guys will take some of my messages to heart if you didn't understand our perspective earlier, or just had questions. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below, and I'll try to address them to the best of my ability, although I will say I'm not an expert on all of this, so, this is just a person talking to another person. But, yeah. Thank you guys for always supporting me, especially in times like these. I hope you continue to support me. If you, for some reason, don't want to do that, that's fine. That is perfectly fine. Alright. Well, I'll see you guys in the next video with a much, much, much lighter tone. And, yeah. Take care of each other, be nice to each other, and I'll see you. Peace.